Democratic-led House, a Democratic-led Senate. Do it now.
But do what now? What now? I mean, listen, what we did, we extended the child tax credit for the first year.
Well, I'm sorry, when I say do what, do it now.
Yeah.
My sister in Christ, you are the vice president, okay? You are the vice president. What do you mean, do what now? The fuck do you mean, do what now? Someone needs to let Kamala Harris know she is the vice president. Does she know this? Do you understand now? Do you understand the difference? Kamala Harris, treat the Republicans like, I don't know, they're truant black mothers, okay? Mothers of black truant children in the state of California, okay? Maybe that'll get you energized and riled up enough to fucking take action. Do what now, bro? She said, do what now? What do you mean, do what now, dude? You are supposed to tell everyone else what to do. You're the fucking vice president, dumbass. What the fuck is this shit? Do you understand the main difference now? Do you get it? At least AOC is like mapping out a clear-cut agenda that is within the confines of reason. Like, I know, I want her to say, like, revolution now or whatever the fuck you guys want as well. That's great. But ultimately, if politics is the art of what is possible, then at the very least do what is possible. Or push for what is fucking possible. But these guys don't even want to do that. They don't want to do that. They're like, oh, I don't know. You're being too critical of her. You don't remember when she said, we did it, Joe? She clearly has done everything. Yeah, did what? Like, that's fucking crazy, dude. That is absolutely... What a fucking pathetic display, man. What a pathetic display. It's so pathetic that the fucking Texas GOP posted this, by the way. Like, they don't even have to cut it out of context. The Texas GOP can literally destroy and dismantle civil liberties and then make fun of the fucking Democrats for literally being feckless cowards in the face of such inequality. It's great. It's a double bind. Like, they get to win on the policy front, they get to win on the Supreme Court front, and then they get to make fun of the Democrats for not doing anything about it. That's so sad. They're making fun of you. If you're a Democratic voter, they're making fun of you. This is what you got. This shit is unacceptable.
Listen, what we did, we extended the child tax credit for the first year.
Well, I'm sorry, when I say do what, do it now.
Yeah.
Act legislatively to make abortion rights legal.
We feel the same way. Do it now. Congress needs to do it now in terms of permanently putting in place a clear indication that it is the law of the land that women have the ability and the right to make decisions about their reproductive care, and the government does not have the right to make those decisions for a woman.
What do you say to Democrats?
Yeah, Congress needs to do it now. Like, you know Congress is not going to do it now. You know it. So what's up? Why'd you say that? I want to see that interview. Does anyone have that interview? Do we have that interview? I need to see the rest of that interview. It's going to make me lose my fucking mind.
Vice President, thank you so much for having me here. Woman, ever elected in U.S.
Bro, this is awesome. This is awesome. Okay, here, look.
Having me here. You were on a plane when the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus.
I love this. I love this fucking photo. You want to know why I love this photo? It's like, bro, you just, this is the perfect example of, like, Democrats, okay? The perfect example of Democrats, like, the Supreme Court overturns Roe v. Wade, dismantling the rights, the civil liberties afforded to tens of millions of people in the United States of America by denying them medical care, like a specific medical procedure now, for no reason other than like pure reactionary Christian zealotry. And what do the Democrats do? Oh, we're watching it on TV just like you, man. Don't worry, baby. We're watching it on TV just like you are. We're just like you. She just like me for real, dude. She's just out there posting, saying someone needs to do something about it. That's awesome. Someone needs to do something about this. It's crazy. These Republicans have gotten out of control. I mean, what the fuck? I'm just as powerless as you.
Mrs. Wade, as the highest ranking woman ever elected in U.S. history, what was going through your mind at that moment?
Well, so I was on Air Force Two, heading to Aurora, Illinois, to talk about maternal health. We were with Lauren Underwood, with the chair of Judiciary, Dick Durbin, Senate Judiciary. We were headed there to unveil a plan based on the work we've been doing to ensure that.
Is it the White House social strategy to tweet "damn, that's crazy" every 16 hours? Yeah. I know there are women out there who are afraid. To those of you who feel alone and scared, I want you to know the president and I are fighting for you and your rights. We're in this fight together. No, you're not. You're watching it from a fucking private jet. Okay? You're watching it on TV just like we are, but you're supposed to have some fucking thing to do. You have to have a solution. You're a fucking leader. What good are you? This is the exact same as like all those fucking memes that I post of like me looking sexy being like, damn, just found out what a woman is. Like fucking can't believe that like people want to harm them. That sort of attitude. It's crazy. Fuck, man. Yo, abortion rights are being taken away. That's crazy. Don't do that. Ladies, hit my line. And the ladies hit my line part of this is just her being like, just vote for me. Like, bro, you're already the VP. What do you mean? Vote harder for you? Like, how are we going to vote for you more?
That women receive the kind of support they need during and post-pregnancy. And, we thought that the decision would come down sometime soon, but not at that moment. And I was shocked. And, it's one thing when you know something's going to happen. It's another thing when it actually happens. And I just actually turned to CNN, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it because they actually did it. And here's what they did. The court actually took a constitutional right that has been recognized for half a century and took it from the women of America. That's shocking when you think about it, in terms of what that means, in terms of democratic principles, in terms of the ideals upon which we were founded about liberty, about freedom. I thought about it as, a parent. We have 2 children who are in their 20s, a son and a daughter. I thought about it as a godparent of teenagers. I thought of it as an aunt of preschool children.
And a woman yourself.
And a woman myself. And the daughter of a woman. And a granddaughter of a woman. And, my husband and I are actually talking about it. We have a 23-year-old, and my mother-in-law's in her 80s. Our daughter will not know the rights for the amount of time that my mother-in-law knew these rights, which is the right that should be well settled, that a woman should have to make decisions about her own body. And when we think about it, everyone has something at risk on this. First of all, if you are a parent of sons, do think about what this means for the life of your son.
I think it's also pretty funny that she is just so incredibly uncharismatic. Like, she is literally a charisma black hole. I don't know what happens to women in the Democratic Party, and men too, obviously. But it's just, There's just Democratic Party politicians in general, actually, not just women, but like, fuck me, dude. At least like Marjorie Taylor Greene and like Lauren Boebert are like psychopaths, but they keep you guessing. They keep you interested. Meanwhile, she's just so awful. Every part of this is just bad.
And what that will mean in terms of the choices he will have. Do think about it in the context of the fact that they wrote this decision, including concurring opinions, that suggests that other rights, such as the freedom to make decisions about when you were going to start a family, the freedom and the right to make decisions about contraception, IUDs, what this is going to mean in terms of in vitro fertilization.
Well, let me ask you about that, because Justice Thomas, this is what you're referring to, did write a concurring opinion saying the court should reconsider other cases of precedent that protect same-sex marriage, contraception, intimacy, and more. Do you think that the Supreme Court is on a path to reverse those as well?
I definitely believe this is not over. I do. I think he just said the quiet part out loud. And I think that is why we all must really understand the significance of what just happened. This is profound. And the way that this decision has come down has been so driven, I think, by the politics of the issue versus what should be the values that we place on freedom and liberty in our country, right? The right to privacy. Let's think of this in the context of the laws that are being passed in states. Dana, in 13 states, by my count, they will not allow a woman to have access to reproductive health and to an abortion if she is the victim of rape or incest. So let me tell you something. As a former prosecutor who specialized in crimes of violence against women and girls, in particular child sexual assault and rape, the idea that after a woman has endured such violence to her body, that she would not have the freedom and authority to decide whether she wanted to continue with a pregnancy that is a result of an act of violence is absolutely unthinkable.
After all said and done, what are you going to do about
Because
it?
you are now the Vice President of the United States, part of an administration that is pledging to fight back to find ways to protect women's rights to abortion. I want to ask you some of the things that are kind of out there that some of your former female senators, Senate colleagues, are asking the administration to do. Will the administration actively challenge state laws that make it a crime for someone to help a woman travel to another state for an abortion?
So the president,
Those are gimmies, bro. Those are gimmies. Fuck that. No. No, the media is 100%. When a member of the media asks that question, understand that that is not the main problem here, okay? That is already within the purview of the federal government. How are you going to expand and utilize pre-existing precedent to currently defend people that are under attack in their states that do not have access to fucking travel? That's the real question. That is a fucking softball question. Is the federal government going to regulate interstate commerce? Like, no shit. Yeah, of course. That's not the main issue right now.
last week, when the decision came down, indicated quite unambiguously that we will do everything within our power as an administration through the executive branch to ensure that women have access to the medication they need, which has been, by the way, FDA approved, and that they will have freedom of travel and that travel should be unrestricted.
And you're going to do that through the courts if need be.
I am sure that our Department of Justice is going to do that based on every statement that the Attorney General has made.
Can the administration expand abortion access or abortion services on federal land, meaning provide the access on federal land that might
Let's go. Now we're asking some real questions. Let's see what she has to say.
be in and around states that ban abortion?
I think that what is most important right now is that we ensure that the restrictions that the states are trying to put up that would prohibit a woman from exercising what we still maintain is her right, that we do everything we can to empower women to not only seek but to receive the care where it is available.
Dog, that's the question. You can't repeat the fucking question with it. What? That's what she's asking, Kamala. She's saying, how will you protect a woman's right to choose? Here is one of the ways that you could expand the federal powers, or extend the federal powers, rather, into states where abortion is criminalized and completely sidestep state legislatures. Will you do this? She's like, well, that's what's most important. We know it's important. You said it like 8 times, dumbass. Explain. Will you take this step or not?
Is federal land one of those options?
I mean, it's not right now what we are discussing, but...
Why not? Why not? Dude, what the fuck, dude? What the fuck? Why? Why should anyone ever vote for you ever again? What are you discussing, dude? Just sitting around, being fucking useless, watching CNN? Sick.
I will say that when I think about what is happening in terms of the states, we have to also recognize, Dana, that we are 130 odd days away from an election, which is going to...
Fuck you, dude. I hope you fucking lose. I hope every fucking Democrat loses their seats, dude. Holy shit. Holy shit, we're 130 days away from an election? Are you fucking psychotic? Are you fucking insane? What a fucking insane answer, dude. Are you out of your fucking mind? And by the way, the I hope doesn't even matter because the red wave is incoming regardless. You want to know why the red wave is incoming? Because of this shit. Oh, we're 130 days away from an election. Oh, man, we can't do anything like that's too politically scary. And guess what? Guess what, motherfuckers? You know the think pieces for all my article heads. For all my article heads out there, the think pieces are being written right now. Oh, wow. The Republican bargain actually blew up in their face. Look at this underperforming Democratic congressional seat that all of a sudden turned into an overperforming Democratic congressional seat because, there was a fucking 8-point swing or something. And then they're going to chalk that up as a dub. And that's how they're going to justify their inaction in this process. That's it. And the Democrats are still going to lose, but they're not going to lose by the same fucking wide margins that they were going to lose in. And the articles are going to start coming in being like, the Democrats don't have to do anything in this process, and the people are still rewarding them when they're not rewarding them. Holy fuck. Where is Libstini? I know he says something. It wouldn't matter. Anyway, the courts just allowed the states to have concurrent jurisdiction on land under federal control. It's all pointless. She's useless. Concurrent jurisdiction on land under federal control. Bro, utilize the VA. Utilize the VA. Utilize the VA. Utilize the VA to sidestep. The DOD already came out and said, there's a VA hospital in every fucking state. The motherfucking Department of Defense came out and said, we're going to keep giving people abortions in our facilities. That's number one. Number two, you're misunderstanding or rather misrepresenting the federal the federal jurisdiction over native territory, I think. That's what you're talking about, right? If I'm not mistaken. Faustini, you are currently talking about the federal jurisdiction over native territory. So that's actually more federal regulation, more federal control over lands that do not belong to the American government. So you're wrong. The U.S. Supreme Court has expanded state power over Native American tribes. They'll just extend it. Oh, so they didn't do that. So you're saying they should, or they could. Doesn't matter. Let them do it then. Let them do it. What are they going to do, dude? What the fuck are they going to do? There needs to be a point where, or just skip all that and send troops into the red states. Yeah, but like you should. Yes. Puck News, the GOP Inside Conversation on Roe. Even Julia Ioff has been talking to the Republican operatives, and they're literally fucking shocked how little Democratic Party is doing to fight back.
Daniel Kwan.
Wrong video.
Include Senate races, right? Part of the issue here is that the court has acted, now Congress needs to act. But if you count the votes, don't appear to have the votes in the Senate. Well, there's an election happening in 130 odd days. I'm taking, for example, thinking of a Senate race in Georgia or North Carolina. There's the Senate race coming up just in a couple weeks in Colorado. And we need to change the balance and have pro-choice legislators who have the power to make decisions about whether this constitutional right will be in law, right? We say codified, put it in law so that there will be no ambiguity about it.
And I want to ask you about that in 1 second.
Okay.
Just a couple of more questions, because what I'm hearing, and you probably are too, is what can this Democratic administration do right now with any executive power that the president has?
Yeah.
Can the administration actually increase access?
She's outright saying that she doesn't want to do anything about abortion because she needs the Roe v. Wade to campaign. I mean, the charitable understanding of that is saying we just don't have any power. Without a filibuster-proof majority, we don't have any power. And no, we will not expand on federal powers or federal controls in an effort to protect a woman's right to choose at this very moment because there's an election coming up. Even in the most charitable perspective, she's just throwing her hands up in the air and saying, there's nothing I can do. Notice how the conversation has changed since Build Back Better. Bill got fucked. Never once did they say vote harder. Yeah. And the irony is that the red wave is coming for the House. So let's see. It'll be really funny when Henry Cuellar, the remaining pro-life congressional representative in the Democratic Party, is like the fucking narrow majority vote, the one that like swings the vote in the House of Representatives. It'll be really funny and poetic when they pass the murder parents who even thought about getting an abortion bill or some shit.
To medication abortion?
I think we're pretty clear that to the extent that we can, we will. There's no question about that because, again, it is FDA approved, and if it is prescribed, that a woman should be able to have access to it unfettered.
And what about the idea of financial resources? Some form of voucher for travel, childcare services, other forms of support for people, for women seeking abortions in states where it's not legal, but they just don't have the means to go elsewhere.
I think you're asking a very important point, making a very important point, which is what are the details that are going to go into ensuring that women have the ability to actually travel without impairment. And we know that on this issue, women who have access to resources will probably be far less impacted by this decision than women who don't have resources. So this is something that we are looking at. Because we know, for example, in terms of how this is going to actually impact real people, over half of women who receive abortions in America are moms. That means that if they're going to have to travel, they've got to find daycare and pay for it. It means that they
Bro, how are you circling back on this? You had years, but at the very least, you had 2 fucking months to come up with tangible policies. You had 2 months to come up with tangible motherfucking policy solutions to this problem. It's not like this came out of nowhere, man. They leaked this shit. Thanks for explaining the problem with no solutions. What? I'm for throwing every Hail Mary possible, but you were right. This party and its leaders are useless, and I'm an idiot for not realizing that earlier. Wait, what the fuck's going on? Is Lipsteiny? What the fuck? Am I starting to radicalize liberals in the chat? What is happening? Wow. She's just doing political commentary, Lamau. Bro, it is fucking insane. It was fucking leaked. How did they fuck this up? They had cheat codes. Exactly. There's a reason why even the Republicans are like, damn, y'all are that bad? Like, y'all are this fucking bitch made, dude? And by the way, it wasn't even like the past 2 months. Like, it was definitely going to happen since Donald Trump became president and said he was going to elect as many Supreme Court justices that are pro-life as possible. That would overturn Roe v. Wade. Like, he told you what he was going to do.
will, if they are working, which
They had a month or two between the leak and it happening. Could they have codified it in that time? No, brother. I'm not even saying they could have codified it in the past 2 months. I'm saying they could have at least come up with a solution, dude. Like a patchwork solution for mothers that are not going to, like, the overwhelming amount of people who are seeking abortions that are moms, for example. Like, there is no solution for that at the moment. Hearing this 2 months after they knew what was going to happen, hearing them be like, oh, we'll circle back on that is fucking crazy. Why are Democrats letting Republicans steamroll them for too long? The GOP has busted norms with no consequences. It's what, game theory? Trump's out there saying he might give pardons to insurrectionists, but let's please make sure we're civil and just patronize my voters. I mean, dude, it is true. They have, for far too long, the Democratic Party has run on the agenda of, look how bad the Republicans are. Please vote for us. Please vote for us. Look how bad the Republicans are. Please vote for us. Okay? And they've gotten away with it for this long. They've gotten away with it because they don't give a shit, because the Republicans were slowly but surely building power outside of Congress, within the state legislatures, with incredibly gerrymandered districts that allow them the overwhelming supermajority. You've literally said this shit 2 years ago. It never changes. I know. They've allowed Republicans to completely sidestep Congress. They've court-packed. I mean, they've allowed Democrats to, Democrats have allowed Republicans to sidestep the congressional authority and power and bring it back to the state legislatures, because every time some decision has to be brought up into the courts, they've already packed the fucking courts with Republican justices all the way up to the Supreme Court. They will always win. The states' right argument will always win over anything else when you have the Supreme Court on your side. And the Democrats have allowed that to happen. And there hasn't been that many significant rollbacks of civil liberties in the past like 20 years until now, when they actually do have the power to do so. And now that they have the power to do so, they're just fucking literally, they're just like playing with their food. They're bouncing your fucking dead corpse off the walls. Even if Roe had been codified, couldn't the Supreme Court just rule that shit unconstitutional or something? Is there a permanent solution? Is it just short of abolishing the Supreme Court entirely? At the end of the day, the Supreme Court's powers are broad and they're awesome, but ultimately they have nothing outside of judicial review. It is still up to the federal government to recognize that. To recognize the power of judicial review. It's up to the courts to recognize that. It's up to the fucking states to recognize that. They have no enforcement mechanism. There's no Supreme Court Gestapo, going out and like fucking finding people who are doing abortions. You know what I mean? They're nothing. All of this system is built around the confidence that we have in our institutions. They don't even need to try to get creative. Try some executive orders, modify the filibuster, do anything, but nope, Dems would rather sit on their hands. Exactly. You take more action at the top of the hour when you want to avoid a 60-second ad break than the Democrats do, okay? Because at the top of the hour, there's a 60-second ad break, and if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe, which you can do for $5, or you can do for free with the Twitch Prime, okay? Or you could just sit there and take it. You could sit there and eat the ad for no fucking reason. Okay? Or you could get gifted a sub, like one from the Enraged Latin, which gifted 5 gifted subs in the chat, allowing 5 people to no longer see the ads. But Twitch Prime is free as long as you have an Amazon Prime account connected to your Twitch account. Here's the 1 minute ad break now.
Most are. They're going to have time from work. And if they don't have paid leave, they're going to have to figure out how to afford it. It means that they may have to put up money for a train or a bus or a plane, much less a hotel. And so we want to make sure that there does not result extreme disparities or any disparities based on who can receive care based on how much money they've got.
And you heard her talk about the election coming up in 2022. And Pamela, I asked her what I'm hearing from a lot of Democrats, I'm sure you are as well, which is, wait a minute, we elected the Democrats for the executive branch, the president, the House, the Senate.
Well, even CNN's ripping into her.
They're all in charge. Why not try to do something now? And the way to do that, of course, would be for her to endorse getting rid of the filibuster in the Senate for this issue. The president did that for voting.
Bro, when Dana Bash is fucking shitting on you, you're done. Okay? This is like mathematically the most center-right person on the fucking planet. Even she is openly admitting the straight-up inaction that you are demonstrating in the face of such oppression. Holy fuck, dude.
Voting rights, nothing else. She wouldn't go there on that. Particularly I thought was interesting because she is the president of the Senate. She said just the votes aren't there, so I'm not going there. One other thing, and we can tease this for later. I asked about her predecessor, the former Vice President Mike Pence, and about January 6th, and she said that she commends him for the job that he did that day.
I want a video game myself. I want a fucking video game myself, dude. She commended Mike Pence? Are you fucking insane? She commended Mike Pence? Mike Pence called for a national abortion ban yesterday. Mike Pence called for in the immediate aftermath of the Roe v. Wade decision, he said, great. I hate this country. I hate the Democratic Party. I hate how fucking big of a loser they are. They're such petulant, sniveling little cowards. They're such fucking gigantic losers. They are so disgusting. I have so much disgust in my heart for these horrifyingly awful, monstrous little fucking babies, dude. They're such ugly people. The former vice president and other prominent Republicans are not only praising the end of Roe v. Wade, but signaling bigger plans to strip women of their rights. They are not losing by accident. They are the controlled opposition party. Yell at them before you yell at Republicans. Okay? Yell at them before you yell at Republicans. They're the ones you are supposed to be able to reason with. Holy fuck, dude. I cannot. I mean, do you understand the difference? Do you now understand the difference between the center right part of the Democratic Party and like the center left, or at least leftist party? Do you get it now?